Hello, my friends. I'm here today to talk about the new firmware update for the Smart Controller DJI that will allow me to use, me and you or whatever, both the remotes as in a dual mode operator. And in this case, I have the Mavic 2, and I have this small monitor HDMI just to show you how you can plug the HDMI port to the monitor as a clean feed, as a mirror of this display. In order to get this system working, both the remotes and the drone, you need to upgrade it to the last firmware released by DJI, and now I will show you how does it work and what I like and one thing that I don't like. But let's focus what they have done good. For instance, the remote is heavy for my hands, is better than this one, and it's so practical to mount, and it's done. So you have the power button. Let's plug in the little baby DJI. In case of you don't know, this is a DJI product. So we have this wonderful screen, and this operates in the Android system. So I will turn on the drone, as you can see, for safety measures. Reviewing a drone, I remove the propellers. Yeah. So of course, we have the drone, we have the system, of course. Now, go fly, and we have some image. Now, let's lower the exposition. So we have the image on the first remote, and now I will connect to this Samsung. So I will connect a cable to the Samsung, and I will connect it to the second remote. Let's turn it on. Connecting. Put the cable. And of course we have the image. Let me show you the cancel. So do we have the camera going up, going down? Okay. And in this case I also can control the camera up and down. Of course, there are some restrictions. The primary remote has some priority in some functions. Now let's connect the HDMI display. So we swipe it down and activate by pressing the HDMI, turning into blue, and after you long press it, and it will appear HDMI resolution, screen zoom, HDMI rotation, HDMI output mode. Hello. Let's turn something first. and once you press HDMI output mode, you can see camera view, picture in picture, duplicate. In this case I will do camera view because I will be doing some works for live streaming for broadcast with HDMI and SDI adapters, of course. Now we have the image on the main controller, on the turn it off, sorry. We have on the HDMI monitor, on the primary controller, and also on the Samsung or whatever tablet phone that you are using. So we have the second unit and the first unit. That is amazing. You will be able to have two pilots, one for regarding the and observing the flight of the drone, and the other moving the camera around. The thing that I don't like, but for me I think will be no issue for now, is that on the Inspire 1, on the Inspire 2, you could use this little joysticks to move the camera around. In this case you can't. So how do you do it? If you want the second remote being adjusting the camera movements, the second operator will be doing a long press and moving the camera around. It's not as spectacular, it's not bad, but I think in some ways it can be, amazing that you can point and finger and follow the object that you want instead of the joystick. And with the primary you can be moving and piloting the drone. One of the other things, on the primary controller you have all the menus available. On the second controller you only have this option available for the remote. To pair the two remotes is very easy. You go into the menu of the DJI Go 4 app, you go to the remote, you go press link, and you go to the drone, to this little button, you press and you link the first remote, and after you go to the second remote software, you do link as a secondary remote, remote controller linking, and you say this is a second control, and you press link and you go one more time and press this little button. This will link the second remote. So it's very easy. Now the drone is making some nasty noise. Yeah, this always giving some messages of update required. Start updating. It takes time. Yeah, but if you want to use this option of dual controllers, you probably need to be aware to firmware update on both remotes, on the drone itself, on the DJI Go 4 application. I'm trying to build some broadcasting station that I will use Mavic 2 on the air and to feed into this controller and to do a clean feed through HDMI after we convert it to SDI to broadcast. This is the best solution for me now, because big drones, they do a lot of noise. They tend to cause some panic on the people above it. With the Mavic 2, it's very quiet. It's a small drone. It's very powerful, and sometimes they see it like a toy. It isn't a toy. It's a very professional drone. I use it for almost all my jobs, and I'm just waiting that one more thing that I've been reading, that we needed some app to do all of these upgrades and stuff. I didn't use any app. I did all my upgrades in the app, in the DJI Go 4. I read that we needed some DJI assistant to do it. For now, I have been upgrading all my apps on the tablets, the DJI controller firmware update, this remote update, and the drone itself. I've been doing all my upgrades without connecting into the computer, just using the DJI Go 4. I think this will take a little bit, and what I like most in this case is the ability to have the HDMI port like the Inspire remote. On the other DJI like Phantom, you have a HDMI port on the remote. Now I have it with this controller. We have also a SD card and a USB. You also have they call, I think it's the 5D controller, like this will control the camera, like you can move it forward and move it lower, so you can see on the monitor, and touching it up, the camera do the down movement. Another way up, the camera goes 90 degrees up. Going down with this button, it is doing autofocus, and going left to right, you are increasing, decreasing, in this case, shutter speed. Of course, I think you can change the function of this button. Remember, this is Android. It's running on an Android base. To be honest, I was expecting some issues, as I read it on some blogs, as I see on some videos on YouTube. Some people having some issues with this controller. I have zero. It all works very smooth. It all upgraded very nice and easy. As I've been speaking, the progress of this upgrade is now in the 86%. Is being done fast. Like I said, I'm using only the DJI Go 4 application with wireless internet, no cables attached. The only cable that I have is the power to the monitor. I think this setup with this drone now becomes a very powerful tool, because you can easily record the screen, or either you can record into the SD card, the micro SD card inside. You can record into the drone, and the very interesting is very easy to use. You just put it out of the box and it's ready to go. And you have the ability to record it outside in the external recorder, feed it into the to the broadcast unit, and now I think the very best is on the top of this table. You have this amazing drone that is rock solid. You can check my previous videos that I made a flight of 3.5 kilometers above water, no problem. It's very rock solid, great images, and very portable, very reliable. And now we have the possibility to do a clean feed through the HDMI port or through a converter through SDI. And let me check what is going on here. Okay. Now the progress of upgrading this app is on 97%. It's almost done. And I think I tend to be very practical. I don't like to, on this case, to talk about every aspect of this controller, of this, because there's available a lot of videos on internet showing you and explaining you that. By the way, this has 16, I think it's 16 gigabytes of internal storage. You can do cache videos into this device. It has a microphone, it has a speaker. The microphone is for you to, for example, if you are flying and recording a log inside a remote, you can be talking. Oh, I'm doing this flight near this tree, I'm going down, I'm going up. You can talk and the log video will be with your voice on top of it. Okay, ready to go. Now it says to disconnect the remote and connect it again. And I think that's it, that's all. I wanted to see the difference on this software. I don't think it will be possible for now. Remember, when you do your videos about drones inside your home, always remember to remove your propellers to avoid any kind of accident. Let me try to arm the drone. As you can see, pretty much let me shut down. connecting. And I think I will end this video just for now. You can put your joystick tips on these little screws inside. On the bottom of the remote you still have this two little buttons, these little two wheels, these little two buttons. Very simple, very reliable. And if you like this video, please subscribe. If you don't like, I don't know, subscribe again. I'm just here to share my vision and the overall upgrade of this system. I love it. Just I think DJI could put these little two sticks controlling the camera, or just one. It would be great instead of moving your finger around, like in this case you point and so for now, to control the second unit, to control the gimbal, the camera, it needs to be with the finger on the screen. I think it will be available on the next upgrade, firmware update, to control the camera with these little two sticks. So let me turn off this lousy. Much better. So see you soon. Bye bye.